Going to have a look at the international newspapers now. Carl Brown's with us here on set. Allegations the US President Barack Obama authorising support for Syrian rebels in the papers today.
That's right. The Huffington Post reports that the President of the United States has signed secret orders to provide support for the Syrian rebels. He is basically providing a number of non-lethal support measures, that is to say mainly communications equipment, radios, that kind of thing. Figure of about $25 million has been mentioned. It was signed earlier this year. It allows the CIA and other agencies to provide broad kinds of support. Obviously, the details have yet to emerge, but the Huffington Post is saying that these are the kinds of things that have been approved a while back, and it's in parallel with a number of sanctions that were failing to get any agreement at the UN Security Council. So obviously at the same time, there's this push to operate behind the scenes and provide some assistance to the rebels.
Okay, the US Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, she's trying to provide assistance as well. This is an 11-day African tour.
That's right. She's on a major tour, just began in Dakar, Senegal in West Africa, and she basically commended the country for its commitment to democracy. L'Humanité says, though, that behind the grand speeches about growth and development is a new strategy of conquest, and it's a contest, really, between the US and China to get access to some of the markets in sub-Saharan Africa in particular. Another document signed by the administration indicated that sub-Saharan Africa has some of the fastest growing economies. It says that the US just wants a piece of the action because right now China is the continent's largest trading partner, and the document in the US notes that Africa could be tomorrow's next big economic success story.
And of course, the paper's still full of the Olympics in London. Awful lot on the badminton, the Chinese and South Korean players being disqualified after making what was seen to be basic errors this week.
That's right. Now, the Chinese and South Korean players reportedly threw their matches. And The Guardian says, listen, they were just leveraging the rules in order to take advantage of a new thing called the round-robin stage. In other words, you're not knocked out at the beginning stages, but you have to kind of strategically play in such a way that you want to win at the end. Simon Jenkins of The Guardian says, they are losing right now in order to win. It's a tactical thing. It's all about winning the medals. It's been decades since it was about the fun or the joy of playing the games. And so he doesn't see the problem. There's actually nothing at all wrong with them strategically playing in such a way that they can go on to the finals. But of course, the fans didn't see it that way.
Yeah, an interesting point of view. I wonder if many people watching agree. Probably not many. The world of finance going to be hit with a new tax here in France.
That's right. We have in Le Monde here an essay inside the pages referring to the financial transaction tax. It took effect this week, and this is after years and years of campaigning. A number of development organizations have called for the financial sector to distribute some of the wealth that we all know exists in the financial sector in order to aid development, anti-poverty measures at the global scale. France is now the first country in Europe to introduce a financial transaction tax, and it was actually introduced first off by Sarkozy. The rate was doubled by the Hollande government. Now it takes effect, but the authors in this paper are saying, listen, it's a great start, but it has to be at the continental Europe, at the European level.
And last but not least, an American man of letters, playwright, author and keeper of the national conscience has died.
That's right, Gore Vidal, aged 86. He was ill for quite some time. He died of complications linked to pneumonia. And he was an author, essayist, and long a vicious critic of American foreign policy. He wrote of the U.S. in Vietnam with excoriating accounts. And then, of course, of the U.S. in Iraq 40 years later. And he said, listen, we are the United States of amnesia. Because, you know, it's no surprise that we don't know anything because we don't remember anything. And he has another couple of interesting quotes. We have to note he was always been an outsider because of these kinds of this painful honesty, but he was so contemptuous of American society. Once he said 50% of the country won't vote, 50% doesn't read newspapers. He just hopes that it's the same 50%.
Some good quotes there from Gore Vidal. Carl, thanks very much for the international papers on France 24.